All right, let's jump right in. We're talking about a massive, massive question today. How in the world do you guarantee quality health care for over 1 billion people? It sounds almost impossible, right? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on India's ambitious plan to do just that, to standardize and seriously upgrade its public health facilities.
So here's the thing. Over the last couple of decades, India's public health system has grown like crazy. It's reaching way more people than ever before. But, and this is a huge but, as this quote from the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare points out, just having a hospital nearby isn't enough. The quality of the services, that's been the real issue. The big challenge has been making sure that the care you get is actually good, safe, effective, and respectful. Every single time, no matter which facility you walk into.
And that leads to this giant question, right? How do you even measure the quality of a hospital? I mean, what is it? Is it just about having the fanciest, latest equipment? The number of doctors on staff? Or is it something more personal, like how you're actually treated as a human being? The system desperately needed a single, clear ruler to measure all of this. And that's exactly what they created. So, let's talk about the solution. The NQAS framework. You can think of it as the official rulebook for quality.
This whole thing is called the National Quality Assurance Standards, or NQAS for short. And you got to understand, this is not just another government checklist to be ticked off. No way. The goal here is so much bigger. It's about changing the entire culture inside public hospitals. It's a shift from just, treating whatever illness walks through the door to building a system that is always thinking about quality and patient safety in every single thing it does.
So how do they do that? Well, NQAS breaks down this big, fuzzy idea of quality into 8 clear areas of concern, or pillars. And they look at everything. We're talking the obvious stuff, like the medical care you get and your rights as a patient, but it also goes deeper into things you might not even think about, like the support services, laundry, diet, security, the stuff that makes a hospital actually run smoothly. It's an incredibly detailed 360-degree view. And what's really smart is how they measure all this. They take those 8 big areas and look at them through 3 simple lenses. First, structure. That's the physical stuff, the buildings, the staff, the equipment. Second, process. This is all about how things get done, how care is actually delivered. And third, the most important one, outcome. What was the result for the patient? Did they get better? It's a beautifully simple way to assess a very complex system. Okay, so we've got the rule book, but how do you make sure people are actually using it? That brings us to the assessment blueprint. How these rules become reality. This whole journey to getting certified is kind of like a really tough health checkup, but for the hospital itself. First, the hospital has to look in the mirror and assess itself every quarter. Then, an independent external team comes in to do their own deep dive evaluation. And if, and it's a big if, the hospital passes that test and meets all the standards, it gets a national certification. That's a huge deal, a real badge of honor. And get this, here's the passing grade. It's 70%. And we're not talking about a participation trophy here. To even be considered for that national certification, a hospital has to score at least a 70 on that really difficult external assessment. That is a seriously high bar. And the level of detail here is, well, it's just mind-blowing. To put it in perspective for you, even a small, local, primary-level clinic, an Ayushman Arogya Mandir, is checked against over 550 different items. Let that sink in. This is not a quick walkthrough. It's a microscopic, deep-dive review of literally every single part of how that place runs. Okay, so all these standards, all these numbers, what does it actually mean for patients? What's the real-world impact for you and me? Well, for starters, it means your rights are front and center. In a hospital that's NCQAS certified, you have the right to know what's going on, to get clear information. You have a right to privacy, with simple things like screens in the exam areas. You have the right to be treated with basic human dignity. That means no shouting, no scolding, your records are kept confidential. And for something so important like childbirth, an expecting mother has the right to have a companion with her. These are fundamental changes. Really, the whole point is to completely transform the patient experience. So instead of walking into a place that feels chaotic and confusing, you walk into a facility that's organized. It's clear where you need to go. Instead of long, messy queues, you have a managed patient flow. Instead of overcrowding, maybe even 2 patients to a bed, the rule is 1 patient per bed. And you'll actually know who's taking care of you, because the names of the doctors and nurses on duty are displayed for everyone to see.
And a lot of these changes are things you can literally see and touch. They're super practical. Think about it. Open drains that are a health hazard? Nope, they have to be closed. Dangling loose electrical wires? They have to be secured. And what about those prescriptions you can never read? They're replaced with clear, legible ones that use generic drug names, which is not only safer, but often cheaper for you too.
But here's the key. Getting that certification isn't the finish line. Not at all. The whole point of NQAS is constant improvement. It's not a one-and-done fix. And the engine driving this constant improvement is something called the PDCA cycle. It stands for Plan, Do, Check, Act. It's a really simple but powerful idea. You plan a change to fix a problem. You do it, but on a small scale first. You check the results to see if it actually worked. And if it did, you act on it, rolling it out on a larger scale. It's a cycle that ensures hospitals are always getting better, always learning and evolving. And this is really important. It's not just about fixing problems after they happen. The system forces hospitals to be proactive. They have to actively look for risks, things that could go wrong. We're talking about identifying potential hazards, like the risk of a patient falling or a mistake with medication, and putting systems in place to prevent them before anyone gets hurt.
So, what's the bottom line? The blueprint for quality, it exists. It's detailed, it's focused on the patient, and it's built for constant improvement. But here's the big lingering question, isn't it? How do we make sure this amazing blueprint becomes a reality in every single public health facility, for every patient, everywhere? Now that is the challenge ahead.